Another day, another review. Oh wait, I provide 2 of these every Sunday, so that's something. This is Mega Man NG, and we are back with another TMNT 2012 Season 3 episode review. Today we talk about the episode Meet Mondo Gecko. And boy, I'm gonna be having a field day with this one. Here's the deal, I'll provide a summary. You guys know the drill. A summary and then the main points. I'm already so many episodes in, it's become second nature. Let us begin. Mikey's bored and in need of something to do. Sadly, none of his brothers are interested. Casey then shows up, and the two go skateboarding. But they soon meet up with a mutant gecko to whom Mikey calls Mondo Gecko. The gecko, named Jason, explains how he became a mutant, and they become fast friends. But things take a turn for the ugly. When Mikey and Casey end up in Xever's trap, they learn that their friend is not as they seem to be. Can Mikey and Casey get out of the trap they get stuck in? Can they be able to help Mondo Gecko before it's too late? Alright, it isn't much, but yeah. This episode brings us another character debut. But more importantly, this is a Mikey-centric episode, because let's be honest, this guy needed at least one for a while. And yeah, what better way to have a Mikey-centric episode, as well as a Casey-centric, than with a debut? How appropriate. We get our debut of Mondo Gecko. Mondo Gecko is voiced by Robbie Rist. Surprisingly, and this is the most funniest thing about this, Robbie Rist portrayed Michaelangelo in the 90s TMNT films. And I mean all 3. I mean, that's insane. I mean, yeah, now we have someone who did TMNT in the 90s portraying the voice in this show. This just makes it even better and better. However, the ironic thing is that Mondo Gecko has a tendency to say cowabunga, which is pretty much Mikey's catchphrase, though Mikey in this incarnation says the term booyakasha. It makes sense because now we have 2 different Mikeys in this show. Ain't that funny? Most of the episode, like I said, pays nods to various iterations of TMNT. For example, there was the bit in the 80s cartoon, the episode Michaelangelo Meets Mondo Gecko, which is a Season 5 episode, and it involved Mondo Gecko and someone named Mr. X. In this case right here, Mr. X is in fact Xever. Yep, Xever's back, and he's the big bad for this episode. We also do get a backstory regarding Mondo Gecko, and Mondo Gecko was once a teenager named Jason who was a skateboarder. Unfortunately, and before I explain any further, how Jason looked as a human pays nods to the Archie comics of TMNT, which detailed Mondo Gecko's origins as well. Ain't that funny? And guess what? Jason ends up getting covered in mutagen, one of the many canisters of mutagen that end up flying around through Season 2. I'd figure that mutagen arc would have a bit of another connection somewhere down the line. In this case, it affected an innocent teenager whose luck ended up getting a whole lot worse. After getting mutated, he was kicked out of his apartment and was pretty much homeless. But it wasn't until he met Mr. X, or in this case Xever, that he ended up having a purpose in life. Too bad that purpose was anything but good. It was bad throughout, and he realized it too late when Mikey and Casey fell for the trap. And what followed is that Mikey, Casey, and Mondo Gecko had to beat Xever in a race. It wasn't an ordinary race, though. And I don't want to say it because I don't want to risk getting this video demonetized, but let's just say that it was a race where they had to actually win for good reason. And seeing Xever being so unfair, having rocket-powered skates and all that, yeah, there's a reason why these 3 had to work together. There was some action in this episode due to the purple dragons and Hun. And you want to know what the most hilarious thing about this? Hun ends up getting beat by tripping on a skateboard and landing on garbage. That is hilarious, and yeah, one of my commenters said it best. Hun is pretty much a Bruce Lee ripoff in this version, and not that great as a villain. I don't know why, but he just isn't, and I always thought that Hun was underutilized, but he ends up becoming fodder for the Turtles to beat, although Hun can put up a good fight. Most of the episode, like I said, focused on the 3 working together to defeat Xever. The race itself was the episode's highlight, and at the same time, friendship is formed between the 3, especially Mikey and Mondo Gecko. He at least now has a friend to be with, and it showed. It really did show in the episode because in the end, Mondo Gecko wins. Surprisingly, we get to see cameos of most of the other villains because who'd have thought Xever would have an underground racing circuit down below? That's saying a lot. And seeing how the villains walk away disappointed that they betted on Xever and lost, that's a massive, massive laugh. I found it rather hilarious, to say the least. But yeah, the episode turned out to be alright. It was nice that we now have another character, not to mention another actor of TMNT history in this show. But yeah, this gets better and better, and we're now 10 episodes near to the end. We only have 10 episodes left, including the Season 3 finale. So here's the deal. Like I said already in the previous episode, or many of my episodes, the rating for this will be in the description below. It was a pretty awesome episode, but I felt more of it focused on Mikey's friendship with Mondo Gecko. And truthfully, it was pretty good. I liked it a lot. I really did. But here's the deal. Next week, there will be one episode review next week. The reason being is that the episode afterwards is a 2-part story arc that I want to do. I want to have at least 1 week devoted to it, because let's just say it's going to be delving deep into Sirius origins. We are near the end, and I want to make sure I get all this done before Rise of the TMNT comes out. Not that it would matter, because I would already have it done by then. So yeah, now I ask you, what do you guys think of the episode? Was it good? Was it bad? Let me know in the comments what you think. That is going to be it for this episode of TMNT, or rather my episode review. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, please be sure to hit the like button. It really does mean a lot to me. I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments below. Share this video around, subscribe, and more importantly, click the bell. Doing all this helps me out big time. I mean it. This is Mega Man NJ signing off. Peace out. Boo Yakasha.